Well, it turns out that we're programmed as humans for stories. That evolutionary biologists theorize that around the same time that we developed language, the capacity to communicate and to collaborate with each other, we also developed the capacity to dream, to invent, and to imagine. And that this was a survival trait. That it turns out that we had developed this big brain, but sort of a weak body compared to the saber-toothed tiger and everything else that was out there. And so in order to survive, we had to band together. And we banded together in tribes, and we needed to make each other care about each other. We also needed to learn things for each other and make each other remember. So when you went out hunting or gathering, you came back at the end of the night and sat around the fire, and you told the story of the saber-toothed tiger and the berries that tasted bad and how they were poisonous and everything else. And we took this wide world of stimuli and compressed it into things that could make people remember. In fact, stories became part of what our brain holds on to for memory. So this became this survival trait. This became how we brought our tribes together. And if you think about the deepest relationships you have with other people, they're the ones who you spend the most time with. What do you do when you spend time with someone who you're getting to know? You sit down at coffee, you sit down at dinner, whether it's someone that you're romantically interested or a friend or a business associate, you sit down and you tell stories. You trade your experiences, and you reenact the comedies and dramas of your day. This is what brings us together. Think about families that eat dinner together. They sit around the dinner table and they tell stories. This brings them together. If you think about patriotism, anyone who has a sense of connectedness to their country, it's likely because you grew up hearing stories about the brave men and women who fought for your freedom. This is why we often have an irrational sense of loyalty to our schools and colleges and states and countries. And maybe it's irrational, but in a sense, it's rational because it's biological. This is how we survive together. This is how we make things happen together.